Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Winback, and on today's episode of Heroes of the Storm, we're going to be playing Tassadar in our A through Z playthrough, and we're going to be playing the auto attack build. I'm going to show you the talents that you need for this character, I'm going to show you where he shines, and I'm going to show you just how inferior it is to every other build for Tassadar. So, let's get into it. It's a YouTube video after all, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe your heart out. We'll watch our medic sit right there in the base, and I'll get myself killed here, I'm sure. So, if you are, if you're just tuning in for the first, oh my god, I'm stunned, I'm slept, I'm pushed, I'm de-healthed, and dead. So, knew it. Everything happening just as predicted as I remembered it. Yeah, but it's Brax's holdout today, so you're going to be seeing a Tassadar, Alarak, Kel'Thuzad, Medic, or Morales, and Mal'Ganis versus the Lost Vikings, Blaze, Anna, Orphea, and May. Now, it is a completely grouped up Lost Vikings, so we don't have a whole lot to worry about from them, unless our Alarak just gets bullied in the top lane, which doesn't seem like it should happen, so fingers crossed. But as far as the build's concerned for Tassadar, when it comes to auto-attacking, it's very simple, but it is mostly just match the pictures up, and you'll figure it out. So, you've got Kaidaran Amulet at 1, followed by Plasma Shield at 4, and then you're going to take Arc Discharge at 7. 10 is going to be whatever you want, because neither of them really matter. Actually, we'll revisit that. I think Black Hole may be better for the auto-attack build, but I have to check and see what Archon actually does in reference to these talents. 13 is going to be Feedback, 16 is going to be Executor's Will, and then 20 will end up being, it could be Kugelblitz, or it could be Force Barrier. Not sure which one, but both are probably fine. Kind of depends on what you're going to be doing at level 20, how easy it is for you to stay alive, and all sorts of other factors that will make more sense to you as you're playing this character. So, really, the big thing to know about Tassadar when you're playing auto attack is that you're going to be very easy to hit, and that is a little bit of a downside. But at the same time, it does make Tassadar's trait charging a little bit faster. So, theoretically, you should be able to maneuver a bit more while auto-attacking. But we can talk about Tassadar's abilities and his trait so we get a better understanding of how these talents are going to work. Number 1, he's got the Resonance Beam. That's his trait. I think this is the most important part about Tassadar, if we're being honest. And Tassadar's basic attack is going to be a beam that, excuse me, I'm going to cough up the sleep. But Tassadar's beam is going to slow people by 15%, and then the damage is going to increase. Oh boy. Orphea is slept. She's being healed, but she's already at full health, while the May is going to be completely healing herself. Medic is going to get out of there. Looks like a big root, well, almost big root from the Kel'Thuzad, but Mal'Ganis is staying right on top of that point with no health, while we try to do some damage from the bush. Unfortunately, there's not much more we can do there because we all have absolutely no mana, and some of us are missing skill shots left and right. Also, turns out Anna does a lot of healing. Yep, another big miss from our Kel'Thuzad. May is back on the point, but nobody is getting any sort of percentage increase right now because the top is de-channeled. Gonna get no damage, really, because she has got her, big knock-up coming. There is the stun. Can't do anything about it. Can't even get close. Looks like Blaze has made his way back down. We're just going to poke him a little bit from the other side. And he is going to get saved by that medic grenade. That is really unfortunate. That was an easy stack and probably an easy kill if we just allowed him to stay where he was. Another big root on top of the Blaze, but again, not a whole lot happening here. Ultimately, we're just stacking our level 1 quest, which we'll talk about in a second, but the Resonance Beam, you're going to slow by 15%, and then while channeling, your basic attack damage and mana regeneration are going to increase to a maximum of 100%. at full charge. So you're going to be doing double damage, and you're going to be getting double mana regen once you have stacked your trait all the way to 100, which you can see down here in the bottom left side. And then at that point, your mana regen is really good. Your auto attack damage isn't necessarily the greatest, but at the same time, it's not by any means the worst. So we're going to take talents that'll make it better regardless. Doesn't really matter. We do have to scale quite a bit, and we do have to be aware. Quest complete. We have to be aware of where we're standing, who we're auto attacking, and what's going on. This build is kind of good at sieging as well, and I wasn't really expecting it to be, but you'll see as the game goes on how that works. Our Q, the shock ray, this is going to plant us in the ground while we throw out a beam that travels in a straight line very far. Right there, you can see it. This has been sped up though, so when Tassadar's initial rework came out, he would just sit there and channel this for what feels like forever. And then with his most recent talent update, they did give this a bit more speed, so this does happen faster than it used to, but still going to be sitting there for quite a long time, for sure. Your W, well, ultimately, sorry, this Q slows and deals damage. So it's going to slow by 30%, and the damage that it does is pretty hefty for a poking ability, but it's also going to be, I'd say, 50% of your wave clear. Nice try, May, you can't get me. Okay, well, and you might be able to get my Morales, though. Try to slow him down, we just can't do it. Unfortunate. Can't protect our healer. Our slows just are not enough. We haven't scaled effectively yet, but we do have some shielding, so we're going to try to stay alive the best we can while eating a stun and watching Kel'Thuzad take half his health bar and damage. It's fine, we don't have a healer, so he's totally allowed to do that while trying to keep them away from the building. The second half of your wave clear is going to be your Psionic Storm. So your W is a very long-range ability. It's just a circle that you're going to put on the ground that does damage, and the damage increases over time. So the longer that it's out, you can see the little circle inside the storm that grows, and then as it grows, the damage gets bigger, and it gets, big combo from the Mei to knock the medic back, but no one on her team there to follow up and help out. Really unfortunate. And then I'm going to wake up the sleep target immediately, but I do feel like all the damage should have been on top of her to begin with, and there it is. Orphea down. I didn't mess up the sleep as bad as I thought. Now your E Force Wall. This used to be an ultimate for Tassadar, but now it's our basic ability. It's just on a very long cooldown at 18 seconds, and it's just going to put a wall directly in the middle of the battlefield. Just like that, we can block some some Vikings from running after our Mal'Ganis while we take down the building. The Force Wall is an insanely good setup tool. It's really good at splitting people off. It's really good at carving team fights, just completely in two. I'm going to get hit by a combustion and a stun. I'm going to miss my black hole and die. Everything went as badly as it possibly could have there, and my dumbass was just standing still trying to shock ray somebody instead of running for my life. So, bummer. But at 13, we're not going to be taking the movement speed. We're not going to be taking the Shadow Walk because I have a plan. But the Force Wall, I mean, that's really just it. After a 0.5 second delay, it creates a wall. You can split yourself off from people that are chasing you. You can split the enemy team off from people that are defending each other. You can trap people when they're trying to siege under your buildings. Force Wall has a lot of uses, and it's very, very, very strong as a basic ability. You just got to be aware of the cooldown and make sure that you're using it to the best effectiveness possible. Now, as far as your ultimates go, like I said, I think Black Hole's going to be better with this this build, but the interaction between Archon and the auto attacks, I'm not entirely certain of. Big health steal there from the Mal'Ganis to make it out, but he still has very little support from his team until just now. Can we get the Viking? Nope, looks like he is out. It is Eric. That slow's not going to be enough. And we're going to channel the top. Got to stop chasing. Got to get our objective on. Please, team. Trying to block the Ana off, but it looks like there is some easy damage and a black hole to interrupt her ultimate. She's going to get stunned, not able to heal the Orphea, and we can continue auto-attacking. I'm going to get... Ooh, there... Well, at the same time, I'm not super unhappy about that, because I think that Avalanche pushed me away from all the bad stuff. Blaze is down. May has slept. Missed the wall. Really sad stuff. But let's see, Archon. Transforms into an Archon, gaining 25% of his max health, empowering Resonance Beam. Deals 224 damage to the target and splashes, 112 damage to nearby enemies. Have their spell armor reduced. Resonance Beam is fully charged. Huh. So I don't necessarily know how this works with your Kaidaran Amulet, because I don't typically pick Archon because it's less fun, and I don't play Tassadar a lot, but I'm not sure. Let me know if the Archon works splashing your auto attacks to another target, because that'd be pretty busted good, I would think. Having your auto attack bounce to another target and reduce that target's armor as well. And then at the same time, your plasma shield would be going the whole time. You'd be charging that. Maybe Archon is really good with the auto attacks. And then you get the Psionic Storm underneath. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe the Archon is definitely the way to go when you're building auto attacks. So probably requires some testing on my part, but hey, if you know, let me know, and maybe I can make something happen in the future with that build. Regardless, though, I love Black Hole. Black Hole, super fun. Really, really big ultimate that can make plays. It can stun people. It can move people out of the way. And we're just going to throw it on top of the boss here in just a second to make sure that no one from the enemy team can get on the boss. Doesn't look like they're even going to try. Thank God. Didn't really want to fight over that anyway. And I'm going to get hit by Avalanche in the middle of a shock ray, because using your Q with Tassadar is basically a death sentence in some of these close team fights. Wow, that was not as much damage as I thought it'd be until it was. Slowing that Mei down, and the counter strike is going to take her out. So as far as the build is concerned, your level 1 talent, the Kaidaran Amulet, is a quest talent, and ultimately what it is going to do, wow, that's a lot of B-stepping for... Well, I guess you've been getting sprayed by the Vikings all game, so I can understand your frustration, pal. So Resonance Beam, number 1, is going to charge 50% faster, which is really, really big. That means you can get to 100% charge really quickly, which is really helpful for getting mana back and for getting the rest of the talents going. So once it's been charged, and you have 80 seconds of the charge, it's going to bounce to 1 additional target and do 75% damage from that bounce, which you can kind of see going on here if I ever stop moving and shock raying. And then after we get 160 seconds, it's going to bounce to another target, again doing 75% damage. So there's no targets even around Mei right now for it to bounce to, which is really unfortunate. But the cool thing about this talent is that you can attack minions, you can attack buildings, you can attack all sorts of stuff, and the auto attack will just bounce all over the place to heroes, and it will kill the shit out of them, or it will at least slow them and do some damage from relative safety for Tassadar. It's really cool. I know you're there. Like, do you really think that you're being sneaky? Fucker. But that's kind of the big thing with this ability. This is the kind of trademark that you're going to notice. You're going to be like, oh my god, he took auto attack build. I can see it bouncing. What the fuck? And that's really what a lot of people will say. But I'm not sure this is necessarily bad. It may require some very specific drafting or understanding going into the match. Big wall trying to get them away from me. I need some healing. I need to get out of here. There is the black hole. Is it going to hit Ana? Ooh, it does. It helps Kel'Thuzad pull her into his combo, and I am totally down with that. Auto-attacking the Mei and the Blaze as they run into our backline with 0 damage to follow them up. Mei goes down as well, and there goes a Viking. Now, your secondary talent, Plasma Shield, is going to give you a shield when you are at maximum charge And it's going to give you 3% of your max health every second, stacking up to 12% while you're at 100%. So it's helpful, but ultimately it's just a survival tool. Nothing really special about it beyond that. And then Arc Discharge, the big fun 7 talent for this build, is going to let you drop a Psionic Storm underneath whoever it is you're auto-attacking. And those Psionic Storms do a lot of damage. Not only that, they're going to couple with our 13 talent really, really well. Feedback is going to give you a 50% slow. There is a big black hole to stop that engage. We've got Orphea down, dead as hell, and we're going to try to keep May. Oh, May's going to get this done. Unfortunate. But feedback is going to slow by 50% when there are people caught in a Psionic Storm, and you're going to reduce their physical armor by 25. So since we're going to be throwing so many Psionic Storms out with our auto attacks and just our regular W, there is a lot of opportunity to slow and reduce armor, and it's so good, and I love it. And the reason that we'll be taking Executor's Will is because I just want the additional spell power, and we want to keep that for as long as our Resonance Beam is charging. So since it's basically always at 100% because of our auto attacks being so fast to charge it, we have almost permanent spell power as long as there's something there for us to auto attack. It is so good the way that it works together. We're not even going to make it to level 20 because of how hard we stomped that enemy team with auto attack Tassadar. And I guess there was another Protoss involved too who did some damage, who killed people more effectively than I did by not dying. So I got a vote though. I'll take it. Thank you. I killed the Zerg. I sure did. 81,000 siege damage. We are the top in siege damage in the room, but 2 deaths is a bit unfortunate, while our Alarak and our Mal'Ganis have 0 deaths. He only beat me by about 1,000 damage, so I don't feel as bad now because I was dead for 2 deaths worth of time. Had I been alive during that time, we definitely would have done more damage than the Alarak, which is impressive to my brain. But the more and more that I see this build, the more and more that I think that there's something to it. And then at 20, since we didn't even make it there, you can make your own decision. The decreased wall cooldown, really good, and the spell power, also really good. And then the alt upgrades are both really good, no matter what alt you take. Again, if Archon works the way that I think it is going to work with this build, it's definitely strong, and the 20 upgrade should make it even more ridiculous with all these talents. So that's good stuff. But that is it for Tassadar today. We'll be back tomorrow with another Tassadar Tracer? Tychus? No, I think I'm missing one. We'll find out when we get there. But thanks so much for hanging out. I will see you then. Goodbye.